Hello everyone, Sandi here. I am back from my trip to England, visiting family, and I will tell you more about that in my June-July wrap-up later on. But I just got home. I am all alone at home. My partner stayed on in England. He's got stuff to do there still, and I am just too excited to show you all the goodies I picked up in England. I'm a bit silly filming this video now though, because a chunk of what I got stayed behind for my partner to bring back when he comes home. So really I should wait until he's back and I could show you the entire haul, but instead I'm going to show you half of it now, or more than half of it now, and then the rest I suppose I will show you in my wrap-up video. So before we even left for England, I took a few moments and looked through eBay to see if I could find any of the decks that I have been on my wish list for a while, second hand, and I got really lucky and managed to get a hold of a few decks that, like I said, I've wanted for a while, and it was from a bunch of sellers in England, basically, that don't ship outside of England or the UK. So I had them shipped to my partner's mum, and it was very exciting to get there and have them there, but I haven't been able to actually look at any of them properly. I opened them up to check that everything was okay, but then I wrapped them back up and put them in my suitcase, and they've just been there for my entire trip, and didn't have a chance to look at them at all while I was there. So here we are. The first one I wanted to show you is that I finally got my hands on the Seekers Lenormand. It's been out of stock for quite a while at skullgarden.net. I know that they are going to buy that AL Schwartz is going to restock it because I did ask him, but I had wanted this one for so long now, and I got a bit impatient, and when it popped up on eBay used for, I mean, slightly less than a new deck, then I just decided to go ahead and nab it. So here we are. So most of you will probably already know that the Earthbound Oracle by the same creator is one of my all-time favorite oracles. It's also my very first indie oracle that I ever bought. So it's one of the oracles that I've had for the longest time, and it gets regular use by me. I absolutely just adore this little deck. And now I finally have the Lenormand deck of his, and I am just so in love. Look at this artwork. I have been fighting the urge to get the wooden tarot for such a long time. I want it so bad, but at the same time, every time I look at a walkthrough, I just feel really confused by the artwork, which is not what you want to feel, is it? I don't read Lenormand really. I've been intending to try and learn Lenormand. However, I also kind of feel like that. I know that there are at least a few that I've spoken to have combined these two decks and use it as a big oracle deck, and that's kind of what I've been thinking about doing, because I feel like for example, a key gives me, intuitive hits. Like I start thinking about what do I associate with a key. Keys open doors, or keys unlock or lock things up, and it's like you can, together with a tarot deck or another oracle card, make pretty intuitive readings with Lenormand decks, even if you don't know it. Like, for example, here now I just pulled a random card up. So key and transformation, like what do I need to unlock in order to create some change in my life? And then there we go, we have a question that's quite potent, So this little deck, I'm so incredibly happy to finally have it. Look, I love this rider card. It's a little mouse on a snail. I mean, it can't get much better. And also, how big is this snail? Or how little is this mouse, if you think about it? Like, snails are usually smaller than a mouse. So yeah, I just love his artwork so much. It's it just does something to me. I mean, even though it's creepy, it's beautiful. It's beautiful creepy, and I'm so here for it. And yeah, oh, this fox. Somebody pointed out that the sun card in the wooden tarot is a fox body with a sunflower head, and here we've got a fox head with a sunflower like neck. So it's kind of like the head of that fox from the sun card has ended up in the Lenormand deck, and it's just really cool. Anyway, so that was The Seeker's Lenormand by A.L. Schwartz at skullgarden.net. And yeah, super excited about this deck. Can't wait to start using it. All right, the next one I wanted to show you is a quite a quirky, weird one. I had never even heard of it before my friend Andy randomly got it in one of her eBay purchases. I think she got it for free together with another deck that she bought, and that is the Fairy Ring Oracle. Weird, like early 2090s, like hang on, when is it got published? Let me take a look. Yeah, 2002. Early 2000s digital art, and it's quite bad. To be honest, some of the cards are just really ugly, but I kind of love it for the weirdness of it. Like, if you look here, we've got these really badly photoshopped like photographs, and it's just so cheesy, and some of them have been manipulated in a way that it just looks really bad. Here we've got a weird collage thing going on, and I just it just looks so, I don't know, it's so bad it's good, if you know what I mean. It's like, it's so cheesy and like weird, and it just gives me really nostalgic vibes. I don't know. Here we've got, oh, that one's upside down. So we've got a stag that has a reflection of a unicorn. Like, here, do you see this? Do you see this weirdo digital art? Like, it just looks bad. It just looks bad, but for some reason I really wanted this deck, and part of it is because look at this chonker of a book. Look at it. It's just chock full of references. First of all, they've got references to different books about each like fae creature, which I think is, well, not each of them apparently, but some of them do. And then it's just, you get the card, the fairy, divinatory meanings, reverse meanings, and working with it. And then you probably have a bunch of other things. We have a bunch of spreads and just, yeah. It's going to be interesting to read. And also, just there's just so much in here. So yeah, that's going to be really fun. Back to the cards. I think I'm going to edge this in green, just because you can see that the cards are a little bit chipped at the edges, but that's going to disappear once I edge it. But yeah, the artwork is it's just look how distorted that it looks, and they all look kind of, you know, like really stiff and weird. Like this one, it's quite clearly a really bad photograph. Look at that. Look at the shine from the flash there. Like, it's not, yeah, it's just not. Well, either way, it kind of makes it creepier. It kind of makes it creepier that it's so, yeah. So it's like, for this one, oh my god, I actually like this one. It's not, this one is it's just weird. So weird, all of these. So yeah, it's a very weird one for sure, and I have a weird fascination with this deck. Like this as well. It's just there's, you can just tell that there's something off with all of it. So, but it kind of works because it's a Fae deck. So yeah, that was the green. Sorry, the Fairy Ring. The Fairy Ring Oracle. Now, the next deck I wanted to show you is a deck that I've wanted for quite a while now, but it's out of print. The deck I'm talking about is the Spirit of Flowers Tarot. This was a low Scarabeo deck, and it's with artwork by Antonella Castelli. However, if any of you are at all familiar with Cicely Mary Baker's Flower Fairies artwork, you will immediately recognize some of these cards, because I've been working on a personal oracle with Cicely Mary Baker's Barker or Baker. Now I'm feeling weird that I'm not remembering this, because I've seen it so many times. Because I've been working on my own oracle deck with those images for personal use, obviously, because they are not in public domain, in the public domain at all, those pictures. Yet there are decks on Etsy I've seen that uses her artwork, and that is not allowed to sell on. So, but anyway, so these pictures, these images, I know Cicely's artwork so well, and I've looked at every single flower fairy that she's ever drawn so many times, and yeah, it's just some of the artwork in this deck is just clearly it's clearly redrawn, like, and Antonella Castelli has clearly not just taken a lot of inspiration from Cicely, but yeah, and then added like these tarot related things into this deck. But I've wanted this deck for a while because it's very pretty, and I since I love the flower fairies, I would obviously love this. So here we've got, I might actually do some kind of comparison video where I show you the original artwork that Cicely made and which that has clearly inspired this artwork. I just really love this artwork as well, though, because Antonella Castelli still has her own spin on it. Like, you can clearly tell it's not the same artist. You get a different vibe from them, even though it's flower fairies. It's just such a pretty deck. I really love it. I mean, I do kind of not like all the different languages and the borders, but since this is an out of print deck, I really highly doubt that I will be trimming or modding this deck in any way. But yeah, I will be making a... Oh, I love this with the hedgehogs in the chariot. Like, it's just, this deck is so me. I can't get over it. This one specifically is very, very similar to the card of that Mary Cicely did. Or Cicely Mary. Oh, I'm so bad. Cicely Mary, that's it. Did with the same flowers. It's the pose is slightly different, but still this one's also very similar, I think. Yeah, I might be wrong though. I mean, this one doesn't look like anything that Cicely did, but a lot of them are clearly influenced. I will do a proper walkthrough of this deck, I think, because I really want to just sit down with it and feel the deck, you know. But you're noticing now that I'm drifting off and not talking very, very well, because I'm just really into this whole world and I just want to sit and look at it. But yeah, now when I'm looking at there's not actually that many cards that are straight up copied images. I might be wrong about this. This one is very similar to the Cicely artwork of Lavender, though. Oh, look at this with the little ladybird. I love this knight. Oops. Yeah. Either way, this is a lovely, lovely deck, and I'm so excited to have it. The box was a little bit damaged, but I'm so happy that the cards look basically untouched. They are in such good condition, and this deck shuffles like an absolute dream. I am really, really excited to have it in my collection and to get to use it. It's yeah, been a deck that I've wanted for well over a year, and just can't believe I finally got it. Right, the last deck that I ordered from eBay before I even went to England is a deck that that is very, very nostalgic to me. This was my very, very first Oracle deck that I had at the age of 9 or 10, I believe. I bought it myself with my own saved up money from this shop in the nearby town where I come from, and I saw it on the shelf and picked it up, and yeah, I just used it. I loved it as a kid, and I haven't been able to find my original copy anywhere, so I decided to pick one up, a used copy up, because this is out of print. I decided to pick it up from eBay, and it's just so nostalgic to have it in my hands again, to see it. It's Healing with the Fairies by Doreen Virtue, and I hesitated getting this deck for such a long time, but in the end, nostalgia won over. It's yeah, a very, corny, sweet little deck, and suited me perfectly as a kid. And these are the backs, by the way. Yeah, it's just very sweet, and I'm glad to have it back in my collection just for the nostalgia value, to be honest. But for example, this is one of those things that I feel, because the artwork is clearly by different artists. So it's like a collection of different art. This one, for example, is blurry, which I think that's inexcusable when it comes to printing and selling decks. But yeah, it's just very sweet, and gives me just my childhood vibes. And well, this card was probably not the best one for my 9-year-old self, but the rest of them were very, very sweet, and I'm getting so many flashbacks right now. Yeah, it's very sweet, and so yes, I haven't actually had a chance to look through all of these at all until now, so I'm feeling a little bit stuck for words, to be honest. Either way, this was the Healing with the Fairies Oracle cards by Doreen Virtue. And yeah, we'll see how I get on with it now when I'm older, I suppose. All right, so then I had a day in London where I quickly shot from bookshop to bookshop because I wanted to squeeze in. We didn't have much time in London, and I wanted to squeeze in all of the, major occult bookshops in London. So I wanted to visit Watkins, Atlantis, and Treadwell's, as well as the astrology shop and Mysteries. I didn't end up getting anything from Mysteries or the astrology shop. At that point, I felt very stressed out because I really wanted to have time to get to Treadwell's. Either way, I ended up going to all of these shops, and I wanted to support them by getting a little something from each of them. So from Atlantis, I got this book here, which seems really interesting. I really love this cover. Fairy tales can change your life. And I just looked at some of the contents here, and it looks really interesting, with all of the, like, how you can use the story, like storytelling and fairy tales. And there's exercises, and here we go. We've got a, oh, I've stuffed some of the other, oh, that's the one, the Atlantis Bookshop bookmark there. And yeah, it just looks like a really good book, and I'm interested to see. Here we go, there's something as well. Fairy Tale Princess, Wicked Stepmother, like changing perspectives within a story, for example. It looks very interesting, and can't wait to get into it. Then from Atlantis as well, I picked up this deck that I had never heard of before, and it's the Life Code Tarot. I had not seen this anywhere, heard anybody talk about it, saw it, and I was like, what is this? And because I didn't have any internet, I couldn't look it up or anything. I just looked at the pictures in the back, and I thought, this looks interesting. So I picked it up. It was quite expensive, to be honest, but I wanted to just take a chance. I felt like I'm probably not going to come here in a lot of years again. Yeah, I haven't actually really looked through it. I just took off the wrapping and wanted to just have a quick look together with you guys now. So, oh wow. Look at these edges. I did not expect that. Look. Oh my goodness. Wow. Oh dear. Is this the backs? Oh no. Why did they do that? Oh. These backs would have been gorgeous without that font or that writing there. Oh well, you can't have it all, I suppose. That edging though, wow. All right, so here we've got the full. I'm not going to flip through the whole deck because this is going to be a very long video anyway, but I just wanted to quickly have a little look. I might do a full video of this one as well. Let me know if that's something that you'd be interested in seeing. So the tagline here is everything is energy. So it's going to be like a very energetic, I think, by the looks of it, a very silhouette-y type deck. The lady who sold it to me, she was talking to some other customers and told them that she was a generational witch. And when I bought this deck, she told me that she knew the creator and that she's got a very lovely energy to her, and that she's a very, very friendly person. And I always kind of feel more connected to decks when I know that the creator is a nice person. I don't know if that's something that you've experienced, but yeah, wow. I love the colors in this. The Emperor, is that a dam? That's interesting. Oh, that she also said, that's also something that she said actually, that this creator has a very different approach to reading tarot. And that's clearly mirrored in her deck. So I can't wait to get into the guidebook to see what she's got to say about the cards, because that's something that really justifies having lots of decks to me, because you get to take part of all of these different perspectives on the cards, which makes tarot so infinitely interesting. Oh wow, okay. Lots of purples. Oh, here we go. Chariot. I think the colors in this as well is going to play a big part in the reading. Here we've got a very energetic orange. Someone sitting behind a car wheel and choosing their way. Strength. Hang on. Yes, that is the next card. I'm clearly a little bit out of it. I travelled all day yesterday, so... but here we've got somebody standing firmly on a hill, all of his chakras in alignment with the stormy weather around him. Very potent. Love it. Oh, a roulette wheel. Cool. For the Wheel of Fortune. There is so much energy here, which is you know, fitting with the tagline there. I think that this is going to be a very good reader. I mean, I'm not super in love with... I mean, if you can see, these are two very different decks, aren't they? And I'm much more into this sweetness kind of thing, but at the same time, this is really intriguing me. And I think this is going to be an excellent, like... exploring inner qualms and shadows type deck. Oh, look at this death card. That is so moody. Wow. All right, I'm going to jump ahead a little bit to the minors because, like I said, I don't want to look through the whole deck here. This Ace of Cups is really pretty. I love that. So it looks like the cups, like they're all like have the same colorway. So the cups are purple. The pentacles, oh, love that. The pentacles are green. Ah, that's a good three of... I think this is going to be my most modern deck that I've got. I don't think I have anything else that depicts modern day jobs and things. Yeah. So that's the pentacles in green, Ace of Swords. So we've got swords in some kind of like grayish hue. All right. This looks very interesting. And then finally we have wands with orange, which is very fitting. Fiery color. You know what? This deck is very interesting. I can't wait to get through this. I'm going to film a video with a deep dive walkthrough of this one at some point, maybe after I've used it for a little bit, so that I have some insights to share as well. And then, yeah, so that was the Life Code Tarot. The creator's name doesn't actually say anywhere on the box. Hang on. Janice King is the creator. And apparently it was released to 2022. I suspect that this was a Kickstarter deck. And that is why I've never heard of it. Because in 2022, I think that was the year that I completely avoided Kickstarter. Anyway, that was the Life Code Tarot. And those are the two things I got from Atlantis. The Atlantis bookshop. The next one I wanted to show you, I went to Treadwell's, and from Treadwell's I got a really lovely they're like a really lovely tote bag with their like logo and everything. It was really pretty and it's really good quality as well. Unfortunately that one's still packed away, I think. Yeah, so I'm just going to show you the books that I bought. I didn't buy any decks from Treadwell's because they didn't really have... They had some historical Marseille decks, but I didn't want to pick any of those up, and for the rest of them was just basically Rider-Waite-Smith decks. But I did pick up some books. So the first one I picked up was The Intuitive Magic Practice by Pagan Portals, written by Natalia Clark. This one looks really interesting. Here we've got the Treadwell's bookmark, and here you actually see this is the logo or the picture that's on the tote bag. So it's really beautiful, and it just basically says it's a cutout of her, and then it says Treadwell's Bookshop underneath. Yeah, really lovely bookshop. Sells mostly second-hand books, I believe, although I do think that all of these that I bought are new. So yes, Intuitive Magic Practice. It's a very thin book, but well, I think all the Pagan Portals are like this. And it just looks really interesting. I'm really looking forward to reading this, because it's like, let's have a look at the contents, because it's got like all kinds of different topics here regarding intuition and how to use it, develop it, etc. So yes, very, very keen on that one. The next one I picked up is called Wild Ones, and it's written by Vivian Crowley, and it just the blurb on the back here just really hooked me. And then I also read the first part of the introduction, and it just really caught me. You know, the way she writes was it just drew me in, and it spoke to me really much. And the woman in the shop who minded the shop said that this one was really good as well. And last but not least, I got the Treadwell's Book of Plant Magic by Christina Oakley Harrington. And it just, I saw this the moment I got in, because it was displayed everywhere. They were clearly trying to plug it. And it worked, because I immediately just picked this one up and decided on the spot that I wanted this. After flipping through it a little bit, it's very, very cool. It is basically a collection of old folklore about all of these plants. So the author, Christina, has sifted through hundreds of folklore collections to assemble traditional spells and charms that use the power of the herbs. And I just thought that sounded really interesting. When I went to pay for it, it turns out that the woman who was minding the shop was actually Christina. So she ended up signing and dedicating it to me, and we had a little chat, and she was really lovely. And she actually also guided me down. Well, before that, she let me downstairs in the basement of the bookshop, and where they keep Pamela Coleman Smith's fireplace, and you got to sit there in a little sofa and just take it all in. I stood there for quite a while and just held my hand on the fireplace and felt really magical. I will insert a picture here so you can see what it looked like, because it was just so good. And at the end, or she left me there together with another bloke who left a bit later. But I had a lovely chat with him, and she, before she left me to just sit there for myself, just drink it all in, she gave me a card of Pamela as well, with some information about her on the back here. And it was just a really lovely experience. I loved that bookshop so much, and I look forward to going back at some point. Really, really lovely. Located on a very quiet, hidden away street as well, so you're away from all of the masses of tourists. But it's very close to the British Museum, so But either way, that was my 3 books that I bought from Treadwell's. Last but not least, actually, I'm going to squeeze this one in here. I bought this one at Waterstones, not in London, but where we visited. And it's The Wheel of the Year by Rebecca Beatty. Also, super interesting book. I've read the first, like the introduction, and then decided that I'm going to start reading this one in order of the season that I am currently in. So I'm not going to read it from cover to cover. I'm going to jump around a little bit because she starts with Midwinter and Yule in her book, but at the moment we are nearing Lammas here. So we are, you can see here it's the introduction, and then we have Midwinter, Imbolc or Imbolc, Spring Equinox, Beltane, Midsummer, Lammas, Autumn Equinox, and Samhain. So I'm going to, I've read the introduction now, so I'm now going to jump to chapter 6 and work my way through throughout the year. So I will be reading now, coming up to Lammas, I'm going to read that chapter, and then when we are reaching Autumn Equinox, I'm going to read that chapter, and so on. So yeah, that's that book, and I'm really excited. It's my first Wheel of the Year book. There are so many different ones out there, but this one is the one I'm just accidentally happened upon when we were having coffee in Waterstones one day, and I just felt like it was meant, this specific one was meant for me. So I picked this one up, and so far I'm really enjoying it. Right, last but not least, I visited Watkins, and had such a hard time choosing there, to be honest. I ended up staying there until closing time, and I got really stressed out about making a choice. So I ended up picking up a deck that I've wanted for a while now. It was not the deck that I thought I was going to get while I was there at all. I had so many different ones in mind, but when they basically started closing down and they said, you know, we're closing in 10 minutes, I got stressed out, and I just I just picked the one deck that I knew I wanted, instead of going rogue. But they had just so much to choose from there, and I actually ended up forgetting about a book, actually a couple of books, and a deck that I had seen there when I first came in that I didn't hold in my hand the whole time. I just had it, like, I tucked it away behind my ear kind of thing, like trying to remember that I wanted them, and then when the time came, I stressed out and completely forgot about it and didn't remember until we were on the train home. So yeah, that can happen with me sometimes. My mind scatters, especially when I get stressed. So, but anyway, the Fairy Tarot is a deck that I've wanted for a long time as well. This is another low Scarabeo deck. I love the way low Scarabeo decks shuffle, to be honest. They are one of my favorite deck makers in that sense. Like the card stock is just so good. But yes, the Fairy Tarot is a fun and quirky little deck by Antonio Lupatelli. The majors are absolutely amazing. I'm not super keen on the minors, to be honest, but I think that once I just start using it, it's going to be fine. But yeah, the backs are a bit funny as well. Like, I think I would have preferred these backs without this little fairy dude here, but never mind. I just adore this magician. Look at that. It's so good. Yeah, I've wanted it for a while. I know that Krista has this deck and likes it a lot. And I've been interested in trying it out for such a long time. I knew I could have gotten it cheaper somewhere else, like online, but since I, like I said, got stressed out at the end of the day at Watkins, I ended up getting this one specifically just because I really wanted to support Watkins in some way. And like I said, I had a couple of books that I had been thinking of getting that they had that I completely forgot about in the moment, and I'm gonna have to end up ordering it because I really want it. One of them is the Watkins Tarot handbook, that I actually held in my hands and then put back on the shelf because, like I said, I didn't want to carry it around while I was exploring the shop. And yeah, that was a bad call. Either way, this is a really fun, quirky little deck. Really love this death card. Some of the artwork feels like it's not really connecting, you know, like it feels like this is a very different type of art style to this. But yeah, we'll see how it works out. The miners are a bit pippish, but half scenic, half pippish. You know, they have a little scene down here, and then we've got the pips up there, kind of thing. And these are, I can't remember the name of the artist now, but these are fairy illustrations by a children's book illustrator that are in public domain, which I don't know why they decided to do that, because the courts and the mages are clearly illustrated for this deck. I'm gonna see if they actually mention right. And it says here, yes, it's Richard Doyle. There it is. So the artwork is by Antonia Lupatelli, this artwork, but then the artwork that they've used in the miners here is public domain artwork by Richard Doyle. There. So it's a little bit it's a bit all over the place, to be honest, and which is why I've hesitated in getting it for so long. But I am hoping these are the aces are actually quite cute. But I am hoping that it's going to read quite well. We'll see. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. It's not the end of the world. It's cute either way. But like I said, a bit too all over the place with the artwork for my taste. But that's a very hot take. Like I said, I haven't read with it yet or anything. So we will see. We will see. Yes, then I also, on my way out from Watkins, saw that they had a used decks set, or like a little shelf where they had used decks, and I there picked up the Crystal Tarot for £8, and it's in perfectly good condition, like it looks new. So I was very happy about that. I put it back in order once I got home, because it wasn't in order when I got there, or when it was there. They had a few others that I nearly picked up as well, but like I said, because I got stressed out, I just decided on the one. And this is one I've had on my radar for a while, because the artwork is just absolutely gorgeous. Just look at the energy of this full. I love this artwork, or this art style, so much. The artwork is by Elisabetta Trevisan. There. And yeah, It's so pretty. These are the backs, by the way, which I don't really feel matches the deck, the vibe of the deck at all. Which it bothers me when they do that. Like, why couldn't they just use like a crop of one of them or something, whatever? Have her make also illustrate the backs, you know, to give it the same feel. It annoys me when they do that. Either way, the artwork is absolutely gorgeous. I adore it. The images are fantastic in this deck. The minors, unfortunately, are pips. But they are gorgeous pips, and since I am trying to learn how to read with pips, I just thought, why the hell not? Why not try it out for £8? Basically new condition, all the cards were there. So I just thought, you know what, let's just try it out. And I also kind of like, you see here, the pips have different kind of colorways, but they're still kind of, you know, they still look like they belong together. Although here we see the 9 and 10 have the same kind of colors as the 7. I don't know, hang on. The 6, so it looks like all the kind of more saddy cards have these like slightly muted colors, and then all the happier cards have these brighter colors, which I suppose is one thing to look at. The courts are also really pretty. Just, yeah, really keen to see if I will get along with this deck, which I really hope to do, because like I said, I feel really drawn to this artwork. But I have never picked it up just because of the pips, but like I said before, I have started to look into reading with pips. So the Crystal Tarot. Now, we are getting to the end of this whole video. The one thing I could show you before we go is the few crystals that I brought with me back now. The rest of them I left for my partner to bring with him when he comes. I picked up, I believe this is called a bronzite. Very cool looking stone. Has, I don't know if the camera is picking all of this up, but very pretty. I picked up another tree agate. I have several of these. One of them was gifted to me by my lovely friend, and I saw this one and it just spoke to me, so I picked this one up as well. And then in London I randomly passed a fossil shop close by or nearby Atlantis, and I had several of them in my hands but decided on just this one. It's circa 110 million years old, and it's got this natural iridescence to it, and it's just so beautiful. And man, I think I might get into fossils because I was in that shop for so long trying to decide between this one and a nautilus shell that was like the size of my hand, which was so gorgeous. And then they had a really cool, or several really cool megalodon teeth that I regret not buying that and the big nautilus shell, to be honest, because it was one of the first shops I went into, and I hadn't been to the bookshops yet, and I didn't know how much money I was going to spend there, and I didn't end up spending that much money either way. So I was sad that I didn't have time to pop back to the fossil shop to get the other fossils that I really wanted, because they were so pretty. I ended up getting the cheapest one that I felt drawn to, which was this one. And yeah, still really love it. I have a thing for spirals and clearly fossils, and this one just feels really special. I just also really want a really big one as well. But that time will come, I suppose. Either way, this concludes my little haul video. And yeah, I hope that you all are well and that you will take care of yourselves. And I will see you in my next video. Bye!